With the 6th episode of 1923 being released, it now means that we're embarking on the penultimate episode of the season, Episode 7. Season 1 has flown by and I'm gutted that it's drawing to a close, but it certainly looks as though we're building towards an epic season finale where everything will be at stake, and it also looks as though the story will continue on over to Season 2. So with that, I thought I'd give my theories and predictions to what I think is going to happen next. So let's get into it. Here is 1923 Episode 7 Theories and Predictions Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The most recent episode finished with it all being framed in a bit more of a positive light. Spencer and Alex were on their way to Marseille after being stranded in the middle of the sea and being rescued. Teonna Rainwater was in the safe hands of Hank as she was now somewhat protected from the sisters and the father of the boarding school, and Kara understood why Jake wanted to get justice over what Banner did to his family, because he wanted to save the ranch for future generations to come. However, this certainly felt like it was the moment of reflection and the calm before the storm. Will Spencer and Alex arrive at the ranch? I personally don't think that we'll see Spencer and Alex return to the Dutton ranch in episode 7 of the show. When we left them at the end of episode 6, they were on their way to Marseille, where there was still a long voyage ahead of them to get to Montana. So much so that there could even be a month waiting list for them to get on a ship heading towards the States. I imagine we'll most likely see them get on another ship like we've seen Spencer do all throughout the show, but I personally feel in this episode we may find out that Alex could be pregnant with Spencer's child. Their relationship has moved at 1,000,000 miles an hour since they met. Alex left her whole life for him. They've been close to death a countless number of times, and they've even got married, all within the space of a couple of months. So I think Alex could well become pregnant with their child, as that is another large milestone in their relationship. However, with her saying to Spencer that she'd always follow him, even if it was going to be the death of her, it does make me wonder if she could prove to be a victim of the range war that's going to be going ahead. She's alien to the world that she's stepping into, and it was made apparent in the last episode where the fact that the ranch didn't have basics such as plumbing was so much of a surprise to her. So even though it may not be in the next episode or even in the season finale, I don't know if we'll see Spencer and Alex have a happy ending that we all want. Banner and Whitfield. Banner has been the main villain of the show so far, and we saw that he led the posse that stormed the Duttons when they were on their way back from the town in episode 3. He's caused major disruption for the family, and him working alongside Donal Whitfield, the person who is now the biggest threat to them, is going to make things even more difficult for Jacob Dutton. I think we could see one of two things occur. I think we're either going to see Banner getting arrested and going to jail, as we heard that the sheriff was going to be going round and arresting him, or we could see Jacob finally seek revenge and get justice and take out Banner. Right now, Banner is no longer the person that's the most threatening. Banner is dispensable, and there will most likely be many more of him as the episodes go on. Whitfield is the main villain who's looking to smoke out the Duttons from the middle by acquiring all of the surrounding ranches, and that's a development that I feel we're going to see progress in the next episode. It looks as though Whitfield's intention is to build a city, roads, and amenities all around the Dutton ranch so that it will force them to sell up. Obviously, we know that they're not going to, but it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic of Jacob having to deal with Whitfield, as we've not seen their two paths cross yet. Jake Dutton. It seems as though Jacob Dutton is going to be back to full health or as close as he possibly can be, following on from him getting on his horse in the middle of episode 5. We saw that he spoke about how he was focused on preservation and keeping what he felt made people so great and appreciating the land, something that has been a main focus. The constant developments such as the motor vehicles, washing machines, electricity, and even Alex looking over at the city lights when she was on the ships showed that we're at a time where the characters were on the cusp of modern technology breaking through. And Jacob is showing some kind of resistance. He wants to hold onto the ranch in the existing ways, something that I think we're going to see him get a little more lenient about, as he'll have to in order to adapt to the time. I feel we're going to see him encounter Whitfield for the first time in this episode, and we're going to see just how fierce the rivalry is between them. I think when push comes to shove, Jacob will win, but it's going to be exciting to see how the dynamic will change when both of these two characters cross paths. Politics will be involved, and the money and modern technology that Whitfield has will most likely be a benefit to him, so Jacob will have to find a way to match him. Teonna Rainwater. Teonna has had the most heartbreaking story of the season so far. Seeing how she was being treated by the sisters and the father at the boarding school painted a light on the horrific treatment that occurred at them. With her escaping but now being on the run for the murder of the two sisters, we saw that in the safe hands of Hank she now has to live the foreseeable future in boy's clothes and disguised as a boy called Joe to avoid being detected. Hank's son is going to go off and reach out to her father to tell her that she's with him. However, I feel as though there's going to be a twist that occurs there. Teonna's grandmother was killed by the authorities in episode 6, which is something that I think is going to be revealed to Teonna when she arrives at her house, and it's only going to anger her more, but she'll have to keep calm. The officer that killed her grandmother is somebody who I think will get what's coming to him, along with the father as well. It will be somewhat satisfying to see the tables turn. Jack and Elizabeth. Jack and Elizabeth have had a tough time since their planned wedding, which was supposed to go ahead a long while back. And I also don't think that their heartbreak is going to stop. It feels as though Jack and Elizabeth have an arc that's running parallel to Spencer and Alex's, with Jack fighting to be the strong person on the ranch and the one that people turn to. With Spencer coming back, I think we're going to see Jack start to feel as though he's not good enough, and maybe even turn slightly. With it being revealed to us that Elizabeth is pregnant, one can only hope that everything is okay with that. With their story running parallel, that's why I also think Alex could be pregnant. I think we could potentially see their wedding in the next episode. Kara said that they would get one sorted due to Elizabeth being pregnant, so we may see the pair actually have some happiness for once. Although it will be far different to how they envisaged it a few months back. With Jack being suspicious of the individual who Kara hired at the start of episode 5, I think we could see something develop there too in the next episode of the show. Maybe he's not who he says he is. I feel we're going to have to see something large happen in the next episode as it's the penultimate one. I believe Banner's time will be up, and then when Spencer arrives, which could be in the season finale, we'll see the posse assembled and then heading towards Donal Whitfield, which I think will make a fantastic season finale. It's been a great season of the show, which has really delivered when compared to season 5 of Yellowstone. So I'm extremely glad that we're most likely going to be getting a second season of 1923. So, there you have it. 1923 Episode 7 Theories and Predictions Explained. If you'd like to see more videos such as Endings Explained, Theories and Predictions, and Character Breakdowns, then click on the I button. Or alternatively, you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review, then head over to my Twitter, @BrainPilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What do you think is going to happen? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.